Moskowitz. But what if you have questions throughout the week? Feel free to call Charles in Boston at 781-826-8882. It's the Princeton Research direct call service on options or the big account. Call Charles from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 781-826-8882. 781-826-8882. Princeton Research's direct call service with Charles Moskowitz. The one thing we've learned in this 21st century, when you invest, make sure your portfolio is balanced. Princeton Research offers more than 100 years worth of experience in the stock, commodities, and currency markets. The best way to tap into their investment experience is to subscribe to the Princeton Research Weekly Market Strategies newsletter. Call Mike King now at 702-650-3000. That's 702-650-3000. Or go to princetonresearch.com to subscribe.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
A very pleasant good morning. It is 10:06 on the East Coast, 7:06 in Las Vegas, where Mike King is hanging out. Of course, Charles Moskowitz is up the coast, if you will, near Boston, Massachusetts. So we want to welcome you guys post-holiday. And Michael, big day today as we kick things off here after Labor Day, huh?
Climbing a wall of worry. A big article in the Journal this morning about how everybody is worried about a September swoon. September has been noted to be the worst month of the 12 months in stocks.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone's worried about that, but conversely, that's what the market needs. It has to climb what they call a wall of worry.
Okay.
There's plenty to worry about.
Well, believe me, that there is, with everything that's going on, whether it's in the Far East or whether it's in the Ukraine, there seems to be a real problem over there. And what is kind of interesting to watch, I know Market Watch had an entire story on oil today, that the crude futures are down because the U.S. dollar seems to be so strong around the world.
Oh, it's a rocket.
Yeah.
U.S. dollar, everybody wants dollars now because the European Union has had a lot of trouble.
Well, kind of nobody wants the other ones.
Oh, Charles.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, you know, it's the same thing that we started talking about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
About things here aren't great, but we're kind of the default stock market, too.
Yeah.
And you see that across Europe, and you see it across the Far East. You know, I mean, again, cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry, nicest, biggest house in a crappy neighborhood. You know, call it what you want, but, you know, there's a lot of that going on. And, you know, it's not exactly lost on the public that, you know, the bond rates are very close to absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Spain came out with a 50-year piece of paper. I mean,
wow.
I wouldn't buy a 50-minute piece of paper considering what their rates are.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know, 10-year, 2.27.
Did you see, speaking of Spain, the country right next door, and Portugal, the bank there, that Goldman Sachs loaned them, I don't know how many millions, which kept that bank afloat. And obviously big bank in not only Portugal, but in Brazil as well, you know, and you think, Goldman Sachs, what are they doing over there? But anyway.
You know, you got to remember all of these investment companies sort of, became banks after
Sort of.
2008.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, as soon as the prop trading, the proprietary trading became an issue, they all became banks,
Yeah.
every one of them.
Wow. Yeah.
So, that means, that they're investing horizontally.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, they seem to prop up that bank at least for a few weeks. I mean, who knows?
Well, here's an interesting stock, Excelis, EXEL, $2.03, down $2.11. I hate when that happens.
Time out. What?
They split it the hard way.
Oh, my goodness.
What? It's another company with a failed drug.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
it's so funny. Every single day, there are failed drugs and there are new drugs.
Uh-huh.
A stock that we have traded in the past, Acadia, ACAD, it's only up $1 and change right now at 23 or 25 or in that area. But this morning before the open, it was trading 27.5, up 3.5 on positive results.
Wow.
And of course, there's this new. It's sort of a statin, but it's not a replacement. It's an also that's they're talking about Biogen IDEC and 2 or 3 other partners, AstraZeneca and one of them over in France, maybe the company that bought Novartis. All of them up really nicely on this additional drug, which continues to get rid of the bad cholesterol, but also helps the stroke and heart issues at the same time.
So it probably has some derivative of CoQ10 in there.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it
Which
is
you could
the guy,
take naturally.
one of the guys was talking about it this morning, and he said, these are not winner-take-all drugs.
Mm-hmm.
These go across lines. They're in addition to, not necessarily instead of, which is, kind of an interesting thing to say. I mean, it puts a little bit of a floor under, Aunt Janet Yellen's statement that, that whole industry is overpriced.
Right.
Now, we bought one on Friday, AUXL. Also a drug, Auxilium Pharmaceuticals. We paid, let's see, what did we pay for that? $18 and $18.55, I think we paid for it. And there's no news on that one. And it opened bright and early this morning, up about 20 or 30 cents, and is now up 65 cents at 19.25.
Whoa!
It's a stock that has been consolidating towards a little lower for probably. Let me look at the weekly, and I'll give you a better view of that. Yeah, it's been between the area that it is now and a high of about 30 for the better part of 2.5 years.
Wow.
So, it's kind of interesting. I don't know what they have, but the stock, even where it is today, is still fairly dramatically oversold. Meaning that there's no big rush into it, but the volume is picking up a little, and in the last couple of days, it went from a 10-day consolidation to clearly breaking out above it this morning. So.
Well, it's funny. Of course, obviously, we're kind of a cruise paradise down here, with all the biggies. Norwegian, we've heard so much about airlines, merging together. Mm-hmm. Norwegian buys Prestige for $3 billion, and we're talking with a B, $3 billion. And, of course, Norwegian is the third largest U.S. cruise company behind Carnival and Royal Caribbean. So kind of interesting that obviously...
Well, I think they're going, Greg, I think they're going into the retirement business, because where else can you live for $80 a day, get food, get entertainment, have a place to be, and meet new people every week?
Well, and, it was, it's very interesting you say that. When our station for almost 15 years did normal station cruise on Carnival, and Carol and I had a chance to go on about 3 of them. We met this one lady who said that just that, she could not live anywhere in a retirement home like this, and she's been around the world 4 times.
Yeah.
And
you meet new people, and if you're tired of them, you just
wait
sit on the Lido deck for a day or two, and a whole new group comes on.
I know, it's amazing, and you think, wow. But
if you're not dramatically sick,
yeah,
what more do you need?
I know, and get a chance to see all these countries. I mean, it really and truly is amazing. But it's funny that all of a sudden we got some literature, ironically, from Carroll's University at Indiana, and they've got all sorts of stuff going, as far as cruises and stuff like that, and you think, wow, okay, this is very interesting how all of these businesses seem to be somehow utilizing either cruise lines or...
It's unbelievable. I mean, you can go on cruises now that specialize in that show on TV, MasterChef.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have a cruise. The blues and jazz business, they have a bunch of cruises.
Oh, yeah.
There are investment cruises.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You can't get people together that cheaply and offer them that type of, we'll call it entertainment, but, some of it suits a purpose. And, they're captive.
Right.
I mean, it's not like they can walk out and go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or, you could just do what they do in Arizona. You could go on a gun shooting vacation.
God.
Where your 9-year-old girl can use an Uzi.
Oh, I didn't think
I mean, is that the stupidest thing you've ever heard?
Yeah, it is. I didn't think we'd delve into that on this show, that's for sure. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. Wow. And probably in that same vein, speaking of that ilk, Dollar General is boosting
$80.
Yeah, boosting its stake in Family Dollar, or at least attempting a takeover there. Yeah, it's amazing that they're trying to raise the smaller Family Dollar stores. They're talking $9.1 billion. Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're talking about how many stores they would have to divest.
Oh, I'll bet. Sure.
I think they're saying, the arguing point is 700.
Yeah.
They say it's under 700. Some of the analysts say it's over 700. It is what it is. They'll figure it out. Another interesting franchise piece of information, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
Opening its first freestanding store in Santa Monica, I think it was. They had pictures this morning on CNBC with Jane Wells, people in line since Sunday.
Oh, my. Yeah.
To get into a Dunkin' Donuts,
Yeah.
and they say that they're going to open about 1,000 stores.
Yeah.
In California, which,
Sure.
I mean, There are people who won't pay $4.50 for a cup of coffee.
Right. Oh yeah, and Dunkin' Coffee is awesome. It's so funny you mentioned Janie. We worked together at Fox 11 in Los Angeles when I was doing the Dodgers, and she was over on the news side. And neat gal, and she's been at CNBC for a long time now. But
yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
they really run her ragged.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you, we were in the earthquake together up in San Francisco at the World Series, and
'89.
She works.
I was living
hard.
there then.
Yeah, she works hard. She really does. So now, where were you? You weren't in the Marina area, were you? When you lived there?
No, I actually was downtown.
Oh God. Oh man. Where the
the
freeway
21st
collapsed?
On the 21st floor.
Whoa.
Of an office building.
Whoa. Oh man.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
And
wow.
Fortunately, I was parked on the street. So the power was out, and there was no way to get cars out of the underground garages with the gates. And
that's right. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that.
Yeah, my apartment at that time was on Broadway in Pacific Heights, and it looked out over the bay and to the bridge. And
sure.
To the fires. I mean, it was pretty ugly.
Oh yeah. Well, and the whole Embarcadero Freeway was wiped out.
Oh yeah.
In that whole deal too.
Well, they had been looking for a way to.
Exactly. It's funny. The old urban renewal thing. Oh yeah. They've been talking about that for like 15 years.
Oh well, all of a sudden you have unobstructed views, and everybody in those office buildings and some of the apartment buildings down by the, down in that end of the world, all of a sudden had great views.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends, KGO, the Channel 7, the ABC station, was right there. And, of course, they were obstructed by the freeway. And
right.
Not any
longer. I know where they were. They were at the end of Broadway.
Yes. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was very funny. You just think, okay, can you pull any positives out of this earthquake? That's one of them.
Yeah, we got a great view. I have to tell you, it was kind of inconvenient coming back into town from the airport area for, like 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because of, that the extension for the Embarcadero, not only did it go around the Embarcadero to the northeast side, but it also went to the west towards the western addition and, everything that was on that end of the city.
Sure.
It was pretty inconvenient for a pretty long time.
Oh, yeah. And, of course,
Not as inconvenient as the highway that collapsed on the other side of the on the other side of the bay.
Oakland Bay Bridge.
That one that pancaked. No, I don't even remember what it was, but it was a very old, seldom used, evidently.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So the market continues to grind higher.
Yeah.
Apple 103.64. A week from today, we get the big reveal.
Oh, you want to buy some pictures that I got from the cloud, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're saying that was not an Apple problem.
Well,
they're saying that was. They're saying that was. That's where they happen to be, but that was. What did they say? Screen name and password issue, as opposed to somebody actually getting into, the whole thing and then, running roughshod around it.
I don't know. It's just, if I had some real sensitive data, I'm not sure I'd trust it in some.
Why would you?
Yeah. It's just.
I still don't get that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
There's a whole generation who, doesn't get security or
maybe
modesty.
maybe more than one generation, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what about home prices? According to CoreLogic, the year-to-year gains was like 7.4%, according to their stats in July. And most states are reaching price levels not seen since 2006. Now, this does exclude distressed sales. But other than that, I mean, that seems like that would be pretty good news, doesn't it?
I have a neighbor here. I live on a big double cul-de-sac.
Yep.
So, I'm like the old guy in the big house, on one end of it, because all, cul-de-sacs are great for little kids. The guy to my left put his house up, I think when I bought this house in 1997, granted that's a long time ago, but in 1997 I think I paid $288 for this house.
Mm-hmm.
And at the peak of the market it was, I want to say, between $650 and $700.
Oh my God!
The guy, well, it's a big house, and it's very desirable. A cul-de-sac is very desirable.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Anyway, so the guy next door to me put his house up for sale for $589 this past winter.
Yeah.
They had all of the realtors over, one day, and the next day the big sign went up, and a week later it was gone for $629.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's amazing. Hey, so between Charles and Mike, I mean, one of you guys has got to have the real high-end Luxottica eyewear, huh?
Not me.
Oh, not you. Really?
I'm very utilitarian.
Oh my. Okay. Well, apparently their stock is falling because their CEO, Andrea Guerra, who held the role for 10 years, is apparently leaving. He had some problems.
I heard he got caught going into a Pearl Vision.
That's it. Walmart.
Actually, the funny thing about it is Luxottica. There was a show about Luxottica.
Yeah, just 60 Minutes.
60 Minutes.
Yes, I saw that.
Not very long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they own the world.
Yeah.
As it relates to, except for like Warby Parker and Sears Optical, they own about 90% of the market.
I know.
It's unbelievable. They bought Cambridge Eyeworks and changed the name of that. They own Pearl Vision.
Yep.
They own Ray-Ban.
Yep.
They own all of those upper-level designer frames. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Oh,
and it was a tiny little company.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how large they have become. And you are correct. I mean, whether it's real high-end eyewear or the discount stuff, through Pearl Vision. Yeah, they've done a magnificent job. But isn't it amazing, though, how, when you hear about these corporate squabbles in the boardrooms, the stocks take a dive.
We had the biggest, most well-publicized one here for the last month. Market Basket.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly.
They just settled it this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, great.
And do you know how they settled it?
Well, I guess they kicked the cousin out, right?
They kicked the cousin out and gave it back to, it's the funniest thing because both of their names are identical almost.
Yeah, that's right.
Arthur T. and Arthur S.
Yeah. It was good cousin, bad cousin, wasn't it?
Exactly.
That's
the same thing as with the Sunnis and the Shiites. One group followed one brother, the other group followed the other brother. But, I mean, it just shows you, here's a non-union business that the employees took hold of and brought to its knees.
Yeah. Well, and
they couldn't be happier.
Now, the question is, did they hire these the folks back?
Of course they do, because they supported the winning side.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool. That is really, now, the question is, can they ever, get their market share back that they lost when they were...
And you know what they said?
What?
I saw him talking last night on the news, and he said, well, we're going to have to do a better job, and we're going to have to look at, discount pricing. They're already a discount pricer.
Right.
And if we only, instead of opening 5 to 7 new stores this year, we'll only open 3 to 5, and we'll concentrate on service and pricing and availability.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, here's one that we traded for a long time, Conn, C-O-N-N.
Okay.
They're a discount. They're one of these like Aaron Rent type deals where you walk in, you don't need credit. It's a purchase to own, and we traded it from the mid-teens up to, I want to say, on and off into the high 20s.
Wow.
Maybe into the low 30s.
Uh-huh.
Right now, it's trading down $13 at 34 or 31 or in that area. They had, and it's not their business that's the problem. It's their guidance based on their
Let's welcome Lawrence
financing.
Rowe.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Lawrence, how are you?
I'm very good, very good. A lovely day here in Houston.
Well,
Amazing.
come on, Lawrence. That's
No, it's true.
it's,
It's briefly sunny, still warm, and if you like that kind of thing.
I was going to say, yeah, how many really lovely days are there in Houston? Now, let's get real. Oh.
Well, it looks good from my office window. Let me
There
put it
you
like
go. Exactly. Well, you have a sunny disposition about Target Energy, I take it, huh?
Yeah, well,
Unbelievable.
part of that's my job, but I must say that we're feeling pretty good at the moment. Our stock is up over 50% in the last month, which we see as an appropriate movement. We're seeing some good volumes in that as well. So, from a stock point of view, we're pretty happy. On the other side, we're